Welcome to New Gameplay. Today I'm Kyle Hilliard here with Wes LeBlanc.
Hello, hello.
How's it going, man? How's your life? How are things?
It's been great. I've been playing a lot of video games. I don't know if you know this, but lots of good games coming out this year. It's been a good time.
I know. It's absurd. Another good game that's coming out this year is one that came out in 2021, Solar Ash. I believe initially, it was a PlayStation exclusive, PlayStation and PC in 2021. And then this week, today, if you're watching this the day the video comes out, it is available on Switch and Xbox One and Series XS, however you want to refer to it.
On Game Pass, too.
Wes, which is will be a great way to play it. What we're looking at here, this is the Switch version.
Okay.
Because I've been very curious about the Switch version of this game. I love this game, to be clear. This was one of my favorite games of 2021. Like, this was my number 2 after Return.
Oh, okay.
This is from Heart Machine, the developers of Hyper Light Drifter and the upcoming, was it Hyper Light Breaker, I believe?
Yeah.
Which I'm very excited for. But this is like it's like a, gosh, what's the best way to describe it? It's a very fast-paced platformer action game with like bosses kind of inspired by Shadow of the Colossus in the sense that they're very large and you have to climb them to defeat them. It's a very good video game. I don't need to spend too much time on that. The thing that I wanted to show off here was the Switch version. I'm pretty confident the Xbox version is going to be on par with the PC and PlayStation version, but I was very curious about Switch. And sort of my big takeaway is like it's kind of a boring bit of feedback, but is that it's fine, right? It's like it's not. Vampire Survivors came out on Switch earlier this year, and it was almost like this sort of excuse to sort of re-examine Vampire Survivors and be like, oh my god, this game's amazing, I love Vampire Survivors, and it runs so well on Switch. This might be the primary way to play Vampire Survivors. I won't say that about Solar Ash here. It's good, right? If you want to play Solar Ash and you've only got the Switch, this is a sufficient way to play it. I played like the first hour or two, played the opening like tutorial like stage and then beat the first boss, and it's good. It's fine. But there's like there's little bit of frame rate drops here and there. Another like weird thing to point out is your character that you play as, her cape kind of has this weird translucent look to it, which doesn't look bad. Yeah, it doesn't look bad, but it does look like a more consistent coloring on the consoles and PC.
Is it translucent on consoles and PC? Or is that like something they did on the Switch?
I think it's something they did on the Switch, although I could be wrong. If that is how it looked on the other platforms, I'm just misremembering. That could be the case, but I remember it being more like a flat color.
So do you feel that this game, I haven't played it, but I know of this studio and they kind of build everything around like movement and flow. So do you feel like with the frames not being as consistent that it's kind of like messing with that experience, or do you think is it just like a couple frames dropped here and there?
The latter, I would say, like just a couple here and there. Like this piece, like right here, what you're seeing is like I'm going full speed, skating on the clouds, which feels great. And then like I don't know if you could see it, but there's like the tiniest little drop there. It's not like often enough to be frustrating, if that makes sense. It's just like if I said, if this is your only platform to play this game on, I would still recommend it. Solar Ash is a fantastic game, and Switch is doing its best in getting the job done. But if you do have the option to play it elsewhere, that is probably going to be your better option, and you should play it. It's a great game.
Do you feel like you kind of want to play it again on Switch, or if you were going to play it again, would you just go to a different platform?
I mean, since it's such a game about movement, I am one of those people who really doesn't mind playing the sort of I guess you could call them the lesser version on Switch.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Witcher on Switch. Like I was happy to accept the portability.
Yeah.
To have I'm usually totally fine with that, but here, because it's so about how smooth the game feels. If I were to go replay it, I probably would go check out the Xbox version. But I am totally happy to have a decent version of Solar Ash on my Switch for traveling, right? That's always kind of the thing. It's like I would even take this, like maybe even I bet the Steam Deck version probably runs a little smoother, but I do struggle with the Steam Deck's weight. I played I think we can talk about, at this point, by the time this video goes up, Lies of P. I played a lot of Lies of P on a recent flight.
That's tough.
On my Steam Deck. And it was pretty solid, actually. I mean, like, as far as the performance of the game goes, but it's a big old heavy thing to hold, you know?
For real. It's also just, like, large. I still have the case that it came with. I haven't found, like, a smaller one, and that case is bulky to bring on a plane.
Especially like the carrying case?
Yeah. Especially compared to my Switch case.
I mean, that's when I usually do this anyway, but like if I'm traveling, I'm like, I pick one video game thing to bring,
same.
Right? I'm not going to bring like a Switch and a Steam Deck, but that's like truly making the choice for you, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like if you're bringing Steam Deck, that's what you're bringing. I wanted to show off the boss fight because that's probably some of the most intense gameplay of Solar Ash, because it's like these high-speed sprints across the backs of these creatures.
Yeah, I can see the Shadow of the Colossus coming through here.
Yeah, like it's much, much faster than Shadow of the Colossus, but it just comes down to like, hey, you're gonna fight a boss on, and you're actually like fighting a giant creature. That's sort of where it begins and ends.
Yeah.
And also good music. Can you call that a reference to Shadow of the Colossus?
Yeah, actually, all good music goes back to Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's. Of course, that's why I think Nintendo stole the composer to work on Zelda games. I think I could be wrong about that. I think the Ico composer worked on Twilight Princess, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I wanted to show off the boss fight because, like I said, that's where the game gets the most intense. That's where it gets the most speedy. I'm like doing a lot of dashes there to get to the tail end of the creature, and like it's good. It keeps up. It's not hitching too much.
Yeah.
So I guess, the big takeaway is, like, Solar Ash on Switch is okay, right? It doesn't get, like, this giant seal of approval of, like, if you haven't played Solar Ash, you play it on Switch, that's maybe even the best way to play it. It's not that, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of, like I said, my Vampire Survivor comparison. Like, I know Vampire Survivor is kind of in terms, like, it's a simple game in the sense that it, like,
you can play it on your phone.
Your interaction with it is limited, but it is one of those games that's kind of like deceptively complicated just because there is so much happening on screen at any given time.
Yeah.
So I was pessimistic about the Switch version, and was very happy to see it was like it just is perfect on Switch. And like if you're gonna play Vampire Survivor, frankly, I think you should play it on Switch. But Solar Ash, play it on Xbox or PlayStation or PC if you can. If all you have is Switch and you want to check out this great game, this is a viable way to do it, and you should, because Heart Machine is a great developer and this is a great game. And that's all I have to say about it, Wes. You keep demanding more from me. I don't know why, but this is how I feel.
I need to play this game. I have so many different platforms I can play it on now too. It's time to finally do it.
It's frankly just an excuse for me on a personal level to just play more Solar Ash, which I was happy to do. I really love this game, and I'm very much looking forward to Hyper Light Breaker, which, as we finish up this episode of New Gameplay today, I'll call out that Charles Hart, I believe about a week ago, took a magazine feature that he didn't put online that really dives deep into Hyper Light Breaker and spoke with Alex Preston, who is also the creative director on this game as well. I love Heart Machine. They do good stuff, and I'm very excited to see what they've got coming up in the future. So, yeah, thanks so much, Wes, for sitting in with me to check out Solar Ash on Switch. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for inviting me.